Okay, Carlos, we're rolling whenever you're ready.
On this week's Ignition, we're going to find out what happens when you give a Camaro 580 horsepower. We are, of course, talking about the Camaro ZL1. Now, what Chevy's essentially done here is give the Camaro the same core bits from the Corvette ZR1. You get the same supercharged V8, the same 6-speed manual, or the automatic like the CTS-V, the same magnetic ride control, and the same general feel for your life. Now, Chevy says this car will reach 60 in about 4 seconds, 3.9 if you get the automatic. It'll do the quarter mile in about 12 seconds at 120 miles an hour, and it'll generate 1 G around a skid pad. Today in Willcox, Arizona at Indy Motorsports Ranch, we're going to see if those claims hold up. So with the Camaro ZL1, you basically have 290 horsepower per rear tire. That would be a problem, but fortunately, Chevy's engineered a launch control system into this car. It actually has 5 settings, the most aggressive of which, number 5, is designed for VHT prep surfaces and drag radials. We're not on that, we're basically on a runway on this straight here at Indy Motorsports Ranch. So we're going to set up at number 4, and we're ready to go. Let's see how this works. Revs are about 4,000 RPM. Now you just hit your shifts. That'll return a 0 to 60 run in the low 4s and a quarter mile blast in the low 12s every single time you do it. That number will actually decrease if you're using VHT and you're using drag radials and you're in mode 5. There is a faster way to launch it, but it's nowhere near as consistent and it takes very fine footwork in order to do that. We'll show you that next. Now the fastest way to get an acceleration result in the ZL1 is to defeat traction control completely, launch at a little over 2,000 RPMs, feed out the clutch, don't sidestep it, and maybe you have to pedal the throttle a bit depending on how much wheel spin you get. Let's see if we can do that. Now that's the fastest way to launch a ZL1, but it's not the most consistent. And by fast, I mean the corrected time we got out of that hit 60 in 3.8 seconds and the quarter mile in under 12. Next, we measure how well those giant rotors work in our braking tests. We slam on the brakes at 60 miles an hour and calculate the distance it takes to come to a complete stop. That felt really good. These front tires really bite the ground when you ask them to. Now we're on the skid pad, trying to chase down that 1 G number Chevy's claiming. Let's see if we can match it. I do like how you can induce rotation with the throttle. That's a nice touch. But of course, that's not a difficult thing to do when you have 580 horsepower. It's a big, heavy car, but it's generating a lot of grip. I'm assuming thanks to these wide tires. I'm seeing over a G on this heads-up display, but of course, we'll have to look at the data to see when that checks out. So the ZL1 definitely meets the claims, but there's one more we'd like to investigate. GM says this car can lap the Nürburgring in 7 minutes and 41 seconds. Now, of course, we aren't in Germany, but we do want to see how this car handles a racetrack. Good thing we have one of America's winningest race car drivers on hand. Let's see what Randy Popes has to say. So Randy, this Camaro behind us is the one that lapped the Nürburgring in 7 minutes and 41 seconds. Having been there and also having driven it here, what can you tell us about the Camaro?
Well, having raced at the ring last summer and now driving Indy Motorsports Park, there's a couple sections here that are similar in that they're very fast, transitional, and rough. And they really are a test of the suspension, especially the shocks, the damping. And the Camaro's got that MR system. It's doing a great job. The car is extremely stable, even though it has good steering accuracy at the same time. Along with the braking that's powerful and consistent, and the handling stability, along with the speed, it would be a winner.
So not only is the ZL1 the baddest Camaro around, it's pretty much the baddest muscle car you can buy right now. But remember, we'll soon live in a world of 650 horsepower, 200-mile-an-hour capable Ford Mustangs. We'll be sure to see how the next GT500 stacks up as soon as we can get our hands on one. Until then, let us know what you'd like to see on the next episode of Ignition in the comments below.